Point. I've heard so many negative things and I can't unhear them.
Skinny, broken, black. I'm still on that though. Yeah, I'm with you.
I can't unhear all of the jokes, all of the mean things that people said. You can't take that out of your mind. It's kind of like in the court when they say strike, you know, Jay tell the jury,
strike that from the record.
They heard it though. That you can strike it from the record, but you can't strike it from the memory. And so what happens is,
strike it from the record, but you can't strike it from the memory.
You cannot. There's an African proverb that's so deep. It says the heart remembers whatever the eye sees. And so sometimes you experience something and we try to get past it and we don't see it anymore, but your heart remembers what it felt like. And that's trauma. So we can't remove that. The only thing you do is, I got to do this. So this glass here, right? Imagine instead of clear water, what we had in here was Coke. It would be what color?
Dark black.
Dark, like brown, right? How long would it take you to pull the Coke out, like with your fingers?
Oh my goodness, we'll be here
all day. And would you get all of it? No, it'll still be little drops, right? You can't pull negativity out. But if we had a clear glass of water and we poured it into the Coke, it would go from dark brown to light brown. And the more water we poured, eventually the clear water would push all the Coke out and it would just be just as clear as this is
hence
now.
Overwhelming it.
You have to overwhelm negativity with positivity. It's the only way. You can't get rid of darkness. You can only bring light to the party. And when they both show up, light always wins.
Light always wins.
Light always wins in the dark. And so positivity will win, but it has to just be overwhelming because you can't pull out the negative.
So let's talk about you and your official role as a motivational speaker. A great one at that, world renowned, traveling all throughout the country. Tell me about the part when your positivity is met with negativity, when people are just so rooted in their negative experience, or as you eloquently put it, so committed to the negative experience that they don't even want to hear your positivity, especially when you have become branded as a positive vessel.
Absolutely. This is what I believe in. Be absolutely committed to your target market.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What's
your target market, DeAndre?
My target market are people who are talented, ambitious, and willing to overcome challenges. If you're talented, ambitious, and willing to overcome, we can be friends forever. I met some people in Orlando. 17-year-old kid actually wants to come up here and play ball at Michigan State. He plays high school in Orlando. We chilling in the hot tub, and he's like, "Oh man, you got an aura. You just seem really uplifting. What do you do?" And I'm like, "I uplift people, right?" So we ended up getting this conversation. But that young man is talented, and I see you, Christian. I give you that shout out.
Shout out to Christian.
He is talented. He's committed, and he's ambitious. And so, and committed just means you're willing to overcome the obstacles and the challenges. I can work with anybody. What I cannot do is, even God decided, I'm going to give you free will to make your decisions. So I cannot make you make anything, but I can be prepared when you set up. See, what happens is a lot of people, we don't remain committed to our target market. We're looking for the opinions of others who are not even in the target market. And what that ends up doing is, imagine this. Imagine you got a plane, right? And it's full of people who are your target market and they want to go to a destination and you got solutions for them. What too many of us do is we run to people who don't even have a ticket on the plane and ask them their opinion of the flight. You like where this is going? You like the seat? They have zero plans of being on a plane, yet they can keep it grounded because you're giving too much power to somebody who's not even the target market. So if my target market loves me and everybody else doesn't, I do not care. Because it's like this, if I'm feeding my kids and they're loving it and it's healthy, if you come along and say, I think it's nasty, I'm not about to take away from what's benefiting my people for somebody. And so that's what I think we need to do when it comes to the negativity.
I'm loving it. Talk about identifying your target market. And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, how did you get to that point? Because I just know what it is. When you first start out, you want to be all things to all people. I think that's human nature.
Ain't that true? Yeah.
When did you get to the point, DeAndre, where you said, this is what I'm going to do, and did you see an immediate benefit or change in your business when you did that?
Absolutely. So, especially as a speaker, I've been a speaker now for about 27 years. Technically 29 if we go back to high school.
Yeah,
and so what I've learned is this. The target market may look different, but it's the same. It's like you know how the Olympic circles overlap? So there's this part that looks the same.
Concentric circles when they both
the Venn diagram, right? So there's the part that overlaps and the part that doesn't, right? So the thing that I love about my journey is that I've been able to identify target markets, meaning who's responding to the message, why are they responding, and I go after them. But when I was younger, and if you're doing this, like, God bless you, you know, follow your journey. But at some point, you're going to hit a point where you say, hey, I got to mature and step up. I used to just run around to everybody and say, oh, I want them to hear me, and I want them to hear me, I want them to hear me.
And we can argue there's value in that at that point early on.
But while you're trying to persuade somebody who doesn't want to listen to you, you're neglecting somebody who's waiting to hear from you. And that's what I learned. Here this group of people is yearning to hear the man greatness, yearning to hear diamond time, yearning to hear the message, and I'm trying to browbeat it into somebody who doesn't want anything to do with it. I'm neglecting. What usually happens is if you leave that person alone, okay, you don't believe in it. Feed this person. When this person grows up and becomes something amazing, now that person that didn't want to do nothing to do with it is going to come back around and say, how did that happen? And now they're going to be wanting to, you know, because success is a magnet.
Right.
It always attracts people and they want to jump on the bandwagon.
So let me add, and I love this. I'm going to keep my sports psychology hat on because I can definitely relate to trying to be this for all people, but finally getting to the point, and just to echo what you're saying, I'm like, look, if you're not willing to go with it, I'm not worried about you. But talk about when you got to a point that you didn't need the so-called validation from others, and that person who wasn't really giving you what they needed, who wasn't really a bona fide ticket holder on your plane to success, if you will, where you you like that, you can have that. You know, somebody told me, just give me credit one time, the rest is yours, right? But no, but once you, when did you get to the point where, like when we ride on our bike and we take the training wheels off and we can finally ride without concern of falling? When did you get to that point? Okay.
Some things you don't know when you get to the point. You just know you got to do what it takes to get to the point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, when did you learn your ABCs? I don't know, but I kept practicing A, B, C, D, and at one point I got it.
Can I stay with you on that one?
Absolutely.
Going back to our childhood growing up, when you said repetition, that made me think of one thing. Riding my bike, since we're being elementary ABCs, let's keep it basic for our viewers. I remember riding my bike, and my next goal was to learn how to ride what? No hands. Right? I had that Schwinn Stingray. And you said it. It was the repetition. Because guess what happened, DeAndre? After riding, I finally did this. I threw my hands down. But because I had ridden so much, and as you said, had the repetition, I was already doing the things I needed to ride with no hands. So it wasn't this big, hey y'all, I'm about to ride with no hands. I finally just dropped my hands and just roll. And your body had been conditioned to, you know, balance, because you got to balance yourself, your feet pedaling all at the same time. So we all know, you know, you're a psychologist. You know about the conscious and the subconscious mind. Of course. So I got an analogy. This is what I think. I think that the conscious mind is like the lawyer. The subconscious mind is like the judge. The lawyer is constantly bringing information to the judge, and the judge is deciding what's truth, what's not, what I'm along with, right? Which is why if the judge gets negative, the lawyer has to overwhelm it with positivity over and over. And you can't bring little nibbles. You got to over and over and over, right? And sometimes the judge gets negative because of the trauma. Yeah. It's hard to have a positive outlook on life when everything around you has been negative for you and everyone around you for as long as you've known. And for me, that's why I had to go outside my household, because remind you, my dad was in prison when I was a kid. Say that. So we talking kindergarten, first grade, he in prison. So my first little crush, this little girl in the Herman Gardens, and I grew up in the Herman Gardens, y'all. I couldn't go to my daddy. He was in prison. What was her name?
It started with an L. It was Love something. Everybody was Love back then.
There was a lot of love.
I don't know, it was Lakeisha.
Yeah, I was about to say Lakeisha.
Latasha.
Yeah.
Something. And she
would hit you up like, it was me.
Right. And so my point is,
you didn't have your dad there.
Didn't have my dad, and so I went to my grandmother. So this was kindergarten, but then my grandmother lost custody of me, so I lost that. So for 10 years, there was this 10-year gap where me and my mom had a challenging relationship. Me and my grandmother were now separated because she lost custody to my mom. My dad was in prison, and so you start to look around and say, is it even meant for me to be happy? I go to school, they calling me the bum bum. I come home, she you know, we beefing. I try to call my dad. We gotta wait for him to call us collect. And then between my mama and my two brothers, so that's 4 of us, we gotta split 15 minutes. That's not a lot of time to make a connection. So what happened is I went outside my household and I went to books. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I read Before the Mayflower. I read The Miseducation of the Negro. So I started off in because research says that a strong cultural pride is the foundation for success. Look how proud the Irish are on the St. Patty's Day. Look how, and so I realized that as black people in America, we need to have strong cultural pride in who we are. And when you have that, then that's the foundation. You start to say, oh, we've done some amazing things.
Right.
We've invented a lot of things we don't get credit for. We played it, and then that builds your pride. Then on top of that, years later, then here comes Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, and me learning from these guys.
DeAndre Carter.
Bingo.
That's it.
And me learning from these guys, it put that self-help and that, you know, that motivational piece on top of the cultural piece. And that's how I survived in terms of being able to look at my family and saying, I don't see solutions here. And of course the Bible, absolutely don't want to leave that out. That is the book of all books, right? There's nothing new under the sun. The Bible has it all. And so, but I'm saying the combination of all these things, I just kept depositing. Life served me that tall glass. I had to supersize glass of Coke. And I just had to keep on pouring and keep on pouring and keep on pouring. And sometimes I'm pouring little cups into the big, but eventually it washes away most, if not all, the negativity.
I love it. You said so many great things. Speaking of books, and this is not to be blasphemous, we talked about the Bible and whatnot, but you have a great book that people can benefit from. So with the few minutes that we have left, I want to hear about your book, your next projects, your award that you're going to be getting later on this evening, and just what's next.
All right, so this book here is called Demand Greatness, Success is Yours. What I want you to get out of this is the title, Success is Yours, but you have to demand it. There's an ability within you to achieve the possibilities that you dream of. You have the potential, but you need to put in the right performance to use that potential to create those possibilities. Then that's what I'll talk about in this book. Now, I'm doing a special right now where I'm doing a second edition. I'm taking it to the next level. It's going to be like 2.0. It's going to be fantastic, amazing, right? And I'm challenging everybody who wants to be great to grab this. And so on all of my social media platforms, I have a link that allows you to go directly to the page. And if you're one of the first 50, you just put in first 50, F-I-R-S-T, first 50, got a special offer for you. Now, if you're a Spartan, let me get with my... Gotta get a shout out to my Spartan. If you're a Spartan, I'm looking for y'all. I'm looking for my 300, just like the movie, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm not Leonidas. I'm Dionysus, right?
I love it.
And I'm calling my 300 Spartans. What is your profession?
Right.
So look, I went to the MSU in 1996. It is 2023. I have 27 years of being affiliated with this university. I believe in those nearly 3 decades, I've impacted thousands, and I'm calling at least 300 out to say, hey, look, grab this course. So the way I'm setting it up, I'm offering you the Demand Greatness course, and I'm giving you the autographed copy of the second edition absolutely free.
Can't beat that.
I might be losing my mind, but in the process, I'm going to be inspiring people, because it's crazy to get a book away free, but that's how badly I want you to get the information. That's why I want you to go through the course so I can walk you through how to use the formula for your life to get the results you want, and then boom, the book will come and you'll have it autographed from me. So that's why I'm looking for my 300 Spartans to be a part of this, lead that charge, and then overall I'm looking for 1,000 people over the next 30 days who want to demand greatness. And if you get in the first 50, you get the special price. If you're 51, still get whatever pops up, because it's going to be worth everything that you invest in it.
Man, listen, there's never enough time for us to share what you have, put things out there. For the next minute, anything else you want to say to wrap up for now until our next time?
Until the next time. So definitely hit up the book. Secondly, I'm doing a speaker course. That will be more information. It's going to be called Speak with Purpose, where I'm going to teach people how to speak with purpose. Whether you're doing a presentation for your job, whether you're doing a speech, whether you're just sharing an idea. Do you know how many people lose credit because they come up with a great idea, they don't know how to communicate it. Somebody else is a good talker, says it, and it's like, oh, Darren, you're so smart, that's a great idea. And Sharon's sitting there like, but that's my idea. But Sharon don't know how to speak. So I'm gonna change.
You just got one client with that one right there.
And so that, and then tonight I want to give a shout out to the 10th Annual African American Leadership Awards in Detroit. I'm 2023 nominee. Very excited to attend tonight. Man, today has been amazing. Fresh off the plane from Orlando, I hit the ground running, run over here, we knocked this out.
Yep.
Then I'll be going and getting ready for that tonight. We got the VIP reception, the awards, and then the afterglow. And then I'm right back to demanding greatness and calling out my 300 Spartans and getting this information ready. And so I'm excited for the opportunity to work with you and help you take your life to the next level as soon as you demand greatness.
Hey, with that being said, I won't add anything to that. I'm blessed to have had you not only as a friend, my frat brother, somebody's out here in the struggle making it happen, and I appreciate our relationship and what you're doing to the people watching that. With that being said, this is Lindsey House at Championship Sunday over at Detroit Pizza Bar. We'll see you next time. Peace.